The Texas Rangers won the World Series for the first time in their history, but many people argue that their win was just because they spent a bunch of money on players. Is that true, or did the Rangers actually build a good team? My name is Bryce and I'm a mental performance coach. I watched every post-game interview throughout the World Series, and here's the real reason that the Texas Rangers won the World Series. Last year, the Texas Rangers finished their fourth losing season in a row with 94 losses. So in preparation for this season, they spent over $500 million on new players. This led a lot of people to assume that they basically bought their World Series ring. But teams like the New York Mets and the San Diego Padres have spent about the same amount, but they're nowhere near World Series caliber teams. The Rangers finished this regular season with 90 wins, which is 22 more wins than last year, and they dominated almost every playoff series to win the World Series. So how did they do it?
Did you envision this team being in this situation?
Yeah, I think everybody in the clubhouse did. I don't know how many people outside the clubhouse did.
Was this a part of the vision that you had for this team?
Absolutely. From day one of spring training, Boach came in, said, we got World Series potential.
This is where it starts. Teams that win championships don't do so by accident. Before the season even started, the Rangers set the goal of winning the World Series and set in motion the plan of how to get there. Any dream goal you want to achieve, you have to be intentional about achieving it.
We don't really have one leader. That whole clubhouse is a leadership.
This is the World Series MVP, who many would deem to be the leader of this team. But he said himself, everyone was a leader on that team. This is what makes a great team. Yes, you typically want to have one strong leader besides your coach for everyone to follow so that everyone's on the same page. But when everyone holds themselves accountable and conducts themselves like leaders, your team won't have any problems. A good leader is responsible, a good role model to others, and does their job.
We all knew we had a job and a task at hand.
Imagine if everyone on your team had those qualities. Well, you don't have to imagine what would happen because this is what the Rangers had.
Obviously, we've had our ups, but we've also had our downs, and we've bounced back each and every time. That's what the good teams do.
In all of the players' interviews, almost all of them mentioned the word resilient because that's what they had to have to get to the World Series. In the semifinal, they played their rival, the Houston Astros, and had to battle it out until Game 7, yet they came out on top. And then in the World Series, they won the final two games in an away stadium. They even had the best postseason away record. This shows that they didn't have an easy road and actually benefited from the difficult road because they learned how to bounce back from failure and persevere through difficulty. I don't know how it started, but somewhere along the line, the song Higher by the band Creed became the Texas Rangers rallying cry throughout the postseason. This is great because having a team song unifies the team and even the fans. Whatever you can do to unify the team will always help, and it also helps that it's an inspirational song. So whenever it was played, before or during games, it likely gave them a surge of confidence.
I think that it just comes from us playing for each other. Nobody's playing for individual goals. We're all coming together as a team at all times.
That song might have helped with their goal of playing for each other. A championship winning team can't be selfish. They have to be willing to work as a team and play together. Individual talent may win games, but teams win championships. And that starts by everyone being on the same page to achieve a team goal. Every player can have their individual personal goals, but the priority must be to do what's best for the team.
Everybody's rooting for each other.
When everyone prioritizes the team over themselves, that's when the team will thrive.
Just taking it one pitch at a time. One pitch at a time, one out at a time, and going from there. One pitch, one inning, and then one game at a time.
This is very important. To execute to the best of your ability, you need to be able to be present on a micro and macro level. The Rangers stayed present on a macro level by just taking it one game and one series at a time. But they also stayed present on a micro level by taking it one pitch and one inning at a time.
We weren't going to let up until the last out was made.
This is how they were able to get that comeback win in Game 1 of the series that might have turned the tide of the whole World Series. They were down 2 runs in the 9th inning with 2 outs left, and because they kept playing till the very end, they were able to tie the game that inning and win the game in overtime. Play till the end.
Outside of players, we got good people, and it feels like we have a championship group.
Having good people on your team is arguably better than having good players on your team. Because if you have talented players, but they're selfish and don't get along with the team, then, as we talked about earlier, you might win games, but you won't win championships. On the other hand, even if you have players on your team that aren't as good, but they're good people, meaning they're enjoyable to be around, they're unselfish, they're hardworking, then the team will play as a team and will have the best chance of succeeding. The best teams I played on were teams that got along the best because we were individuals playing as one team, not one team playing like individuals. This was a losing coach and how he responded.
This is painful. This is plain painful. And I told the guys to absorb it, process it the right way, don't compartmentalize it, don't put it away, because I want to remember what this feels like because I never want to feel it again.
If you happen to lose a championship, don't avoid it or downplay it. Feel the pain. Really sit in it for days or weeks or however long it takes. Then when you feel ready, use that pain to fuel you the following season in practice and games.
I want to run away and hide for a few days. I want to go camping and just sit in the tent and suck my thumb and eat ice cream.
To really get over the disappointment, you have to give yourself time to heal. You do this by taking a break and doing something other than your sport. If you just hop right back into it, you'll likely have a mental and physical burnout because you haven't given yourself time to recover. It's crucial to both physically and mentally recover after major victories or losses. Even though they won, the Rangers should do this too. because of the physical, mental, and emotional stress and toll.
Being in the World Series but not winning a World Championship. It's what drives you and motivates you through those lean days of the middle of the season, of the dog days. That's what helps you fight.
This is the benefit of failure. Even if you do end up losing a major competition, the benefit is that now you'll have the extra motivation that will fuel you moving forward. The people who are most driven to win are usually the ones who know what it feels like to lose. So that's why I feel like the Rangers won. Why do you think they won?